Attention gamers. As someone who's been playing League since way before his balls dropped, I often think back to those early games on Summoner's Rift. Something about the septic tank quality graphics was so immersive. Champions had unique identities as their abilities were simple, but individual. My friends and I would queue up plain old normals for hours, without a care in the world about who would go what lane or if our comp synergized well together. We simply played who we wanted to play and enjoyed the game for what it was. A game. But over time games started getting more competitive, with more emphasis being placed around an individual's skill level and how much they could win rather than how fun they could make the game. The level of sweat drastically increased until it reached the pinnacle during the ninjafication of gaming, where prepubescent man-childs realized they could make the big bucks without having to work a shitty 9 to 5 if they just committed their lives to be better than everyone else at video games. Normal games were now frowned upon, as having fun no longer meant anything. It was all about what rank you are, and being able to act superior to anyone who is a lower rank. Picking fun champs was replaced with tier lists and group comps, teams flaming each other if everyone wasn't equally committed to meta sweating for that LP. Strategies were developed to play the game in a way that isn't even enjoyable, all because it's an effective way to win more often, all to increase a number that we are conditioned by our own community to think means anything more than shit, piss and cum.
That's it?
While forgetting the whole point of playing the game, to have fun. I came to this realization in a game the other day when it hit me harder than a 2009 Chris Brown that what I was doing just felt pointless. I was playing foam-fingered Logan Paul mid, which I know is slightly off meta, but their jungler was one of those people who think in 360p, and I was the main beneficiary of such ineptitude. Early game I traded kills with one of those skillless simps who play Lux, but as I got stronger, I started attracting more attention from people who wanted to do impolite things to my blonde bleached asshole, and I wasn't a fan of the spotlight. All I cared about was winning the game, so I just tunneled onto objectives, avoiding the cosmic ballsack when he would visit, and then the second he pissed off, I was like an angry bird, as knocking down this tower was all I cared about. Other players were fighting and having fun, but I was cashing in my own enjoyment for that LP by AFK autoing towers and doing nothing else. All I did was continue to push, which meant no fights would ever feel good for me, as I was always outnumbered by a blonde babe and the largest Martian scrotum I've ever seen. The playstyle seemed stupid, but I've played this game enough to know when just forcing your way down a lane will work, and while evidence showed that fighting would be way more fun, I stuck to the plan of playing with the only goal being to win. Eventually their team would come and I would get 30 seconds to watch some TikToks before I was back, like an LP zombie just perma-pushing the next tower. I blatantly ignored the fighting, which would have been more fun because my brain was telling me 21 more LP would make me happier, so I just turned on the Bouse simulator and did nothing but take objectives. It worked like a charm, but I was so disinterested that I was actively watching random ass videos of a hillbilly cooking crabs on my other screen.
Soaking for about 30 minutes, we're going to get them on out of here. Look at them crabs right there. Man, we're going to let them drip dry. Hey, in a few minutes, we're going to be eating ball crabs, y'all.
And so we won the game that after 30 minutes gave me zero joy, and I decided that chasing ranked wins can suck my dick and that I would go back to playing this game with the purpose of having fun. So what you are going to see today is the first 3 things I did to breathe some joy into my otherwise wilting anus of an LP conditioned gamer. Starting with personal vendetta Teemo support. The goal of playing this rabies-ridden rabbit wasn't to win, but rather to see just how pissed off you can make the enemy jungler. This of course started with a level 1 raid of the proverbial panty drawers. As you can see, he was already in the trap of watching TikToks in between mindlessly chasing wins, and he wasn't going to enjoy the experience I was about to deliver. I stuck around like a dick pimple with the goal of making sure he will not be setting any world record full clear times, and after I saved a few puppies from his rage, he decided to face his demons head on, no matter how small they are. He had a level advantage, but I'm playing a piece of shit champ that could care less if I died, so we traded a few flashes and he was left way too low in health to do any jungle clearing. Let the record show that the 2 top laners, who were both identifying as mid laners, were having a scuffle, and since playing this game correctly didn't mean jack shit to me, I attended spit a little bit into Jeff Sight's face and made the fist fight an even trade. The orc from Mordor then repaid the favor by helping me spawn suicide thoughts in this young Echo's head, as he was deprived yet again of taking his blue, as we then chased him down, me mustering all the saliva that I can to make sure he is left pissed off and back in base. Of course my own jungler realized that my personal vendetta against theirs meant takeout on the menu for McDragons tonight, but that tilted backyard baseball player wanted to prevent that mukbang, so of course this called for a visit from yours truly as I herded that child away and we secured the objective. At this point he was actively looking for revenge, and even though he had a level advantage due to me literally not being in lane yet this game, the amount of microplastics in my spit were enough to make him pussy out. But my mission to ruin his day was endless as I spent all my time running through the forest doing nothing but pissing him off. When he was forced to reset, I would visit the top laners who were air B and being mid, which was a decent side hustle. Once I got my little Bowser bombs, it was only going to get worse for him as I would bait him away from his cute little chicken coo and distract him while my team was out accomplishing their goals. All with a mission to bait him into a bitch bomb, watch him return to a time when I was still going to tunnel onto him, and then proceed to have him hold my dick as I took him down and then scurried off from the other players that I didn't care to fight. I quite literally had done nothing else this game other play my own personal mini game of search and destroy the tilted Tommy, but considering I was able to hold my own in a single player slap battle, I would say I was having a better time than him. It got to the point where just bumping into my children's sized devil Halloween costume had him flashing me like a drunk chick who was given beads on Mardi Gras. I had no clue if my team was winning or losing. I was just trying to be a nuisance, and the stupid strategy was resulting in some hilarious situations. I tried gaslighting him as if my targeting him was to get him back for his own actions in a previous life, while ignoring the fact that the rest of his team was making moves into my base and we were forced to play a little bit of tower defense to keep the game alive. But I could care less. I was happier than a clam that avoided being chowdered, as playing personal vendetta Teemo kept their jungler away from objectives that mattered, so we got a Baron, killed his friends, and still ended up catching a dub. Game 2 I figured I would play some roaming fiddle support with the primary mentality of why the fuck not, but I also kind of thought a point and click fear would be dank, especially in early invades, only to realize that our jungler's brain had yet to load into the game. That said, he was all for the buddy system, so when at 6 minutes into the game when I finally decided to head to my own lane, he was there to help me introduce myself with all my social anxiety that's common among scarecrows, as Obama turned out to be a bit scary, so I decided to just pixie suck the pink-haired one instead. I wasn't exactly helpful in any way, but when someone looked like they would be receptive to a surprise party, I was always there to throw one, and it did indeed knock her dead. I was never bought because laning normally bores the shit out of me, and turns out my roaming would let me puppy guard any semblance of safety for this gothic firebender, and the troll strategy was going okay. At one point I thought of the hilarious idea to sit in a bush and then gangbang the first vegan that comes to defend her tower, only to learn that the gravedigger was a dickhead and that the only thing he would be getting from me anymore was petty comments that later landed me a chat restriction. Yeah, I wasn't around for my ADC much early in life, but lead players should be used to that from their fathers, but I could care less because I just liked surprising people. Now, instead of farming or doing objective things, I was setting up cameras in the forest and just waiting for some unsuspecting weed of a woman to come strolling in, completely unsuspecting of the amount of balloon animals that were about to get shoved up her ass. When my ult wasn't up, I was about as useless as an OnlyFans model when you have post-nut clarity, but when my ult was up, I was just the head of the party planning committee, and even though there would be haters who weren't invited, I wasn't going to let any Tom, Dick, or Lucian get away with bashing my balloons. My KDA was more trash than Kai Cenat's basement after Kevin Hart sleeps over, but I was having the time of my life finding fun ways to play surprise you're a dead bitch with these kids. Turns out not really caring if you win or die but rather just playing over aggressive is pretty effective, and paired with a team that carries you and a person playing OP as fuck Lux, and we still came out with another win. The last step that I took to queef some joy from this game into my otherwise dying desire to play it was with full AP Sona top lane. Of course some 6'5" finance guy blue eyes and a demon dick was just waiting for me in the shrubs, but what they don't teach you in school is that I could just strum the green strings to get a health advantage and then wait patiently for my Uber Eats order of one werewolf to arrive and start slashing the shitter, to which I hit him with that flash dubstep ignite for the kill. Obviously any self-respecting adult is going to have to defend his own pride from dying to a Sona top, so he teleports and comes flying and hotter than a spoon at Demi Lovato's house, thinking he's just going to make me hiccup a few times, but bad news for him, I just learned a new song and it was the purple one, so he struck out again. I decided to roam a bit because, full transparency, this pick and utter dog shit, but it worked out when Bird Hitler didn't respect the raw power of a lost chapter Sona visiting him from the north and he ended up getting deceased. My bot lane was taking a scheduled potty break, so I figured I would take the team dog for a walk and see if we could get him something to eat as he made a meal out of the ADC, and then I strummed my mute dick off at the bedazzled cow to help get the double. And I may have been 3-0, but let you remind me that this pick is reportable trolling in 2024, so I was still getting shafted and had to resort to an evil plan I had up my sleeve. Well, it still worked out because I had a friendly windshitter who oh so generously made the trip up north and lended me his ignite so that I could secure the kill. Their fiddle does try to throw me a party, but he clearly didn't look at my match history to know that I am the head of the fucking party planning committee and no one was going to outplan he who plans the surprises. Lanky Lucifer was definitely enjoying his alone time up top, and I sure as hell wasn't going to be the one to have intimate with him, so the only times I visited was in the presence of a buddy, you know, ménage à trois this motherfucker for another easy kill. At one point when we were talking about how Speed fumbled the bag with Amy, I noticed someone over here trying to be the American Sniper, so I decided he will be getting a private concert. I lead with the blues song but then immediately switched things up by running backstage for a second to do a costume change, you know, Eras tour this bitch, and then I came back in to hit him with a few murder melodies before saving my chemical rat and securing the double. Their Aatrox was getting hostile in chat, likely because he was getting diffed by an AP Sona, which goes directly towards the evidence of Rav having fun, while at the same time we were getting a wild fiddle to fuck off. My dog was ride or die with me from the start, so anytime I saw him getting in a tiff I would serenade the situation with a gold song, and let's just say my harping has a way of knocking them dead. I was having a blast and my strategy was working. They were starting to get desperate over at the party planning committee, and I had to inform them that it wasn't a good look by murdering them while simultaneously displaying the challenger caliber skill set that I have as a gamer. Add one more teamfight where I just kinda ran around pushing random buttons, and soon enough we were chasing them in their base, touting how much of a better time we had with them. So in summary, chasing wins in League isn't fun anymore, and I think we as a community should normalize having fun over all else, even if it doesn't follow a meta. Brush your teeth tonight, Rav out.